Have you ever heard the saying, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. So how did these wool merchants from Florence become one of the most powerful families in history? Well, to understand what the Medici built, you first need to understand what Florence looked like before them. Florence in the 1300s was already a financial city. Italian merchants had already figured out how to move money without physically carrying gold, but the system was fragile. At that time, two families dominated Florentine banking: the Bardi and the Peruzzi. Massive operations. At their peak, they were lending a ton of money to all kinds of different kings, and that was exactly the problem. King Edward III of England borrowed heavily from both families to fund the war with France. When the war went badly, he simply stopped paying. And because both families had bet almost everything on that one relationship, they collapsed just like that, taking thousands of depositors down with them. Florence went through a financial crisis that wiped out an entire generation of wealth. And somewhere in the middle of that wreckage, a relatively quiet middle-class family was watching. The Medici were not born powerful. They were wool merchants, comfortable but not extraordinary. Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici founded the Medici Bank in 1397. What made him different wasn't ambition, it was discipline. He had watched the Bardi and Peruzzi collapse. He understood exactly why, and he built his bank around one core principle: never let one relationship become your everything. Each branch of the Medici Bank in Rome, Venice, London, Bruges, Geneva was legally a separate partnership, separate books, separate liability. If London failed, it didn't drag Rome down with it. That's essentially the holding company, the corporate structure every major business uses today. But the move that truly launched everything was the landing of the papal account. The Catholic Church was the largest financial operation in the Western world. Money flowing in from every corner of Europe, all of it needed to be managed. The Medici became the church's banker. After Giovanni's death, his son Cosimo took everything his father built and multiplied it. Florence was technically a republic, councils, elections, institutions, and yet Cosimo ran it. How? Relationships. Loans, favors. Need funding? Cosimo. Your city needs a building? Cosimo. You are a foreign ambassador? Cosimo. He turned the bank into a political machine and political power back into business advantage. Then Cosimo's son Lorenzo took it further in a direction nobody expected. Lorenzo de' Medici, the Magnificent, barely managed the bank. He was a poet, a philosopher. He surrounded himself with artists and funded them obsessively. Botticelli, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci all passed through the circles of the Medici. And this wasn't just passion, it was strategy. Lorenzo understood something very modern. Reputation is power. When you're the family that built Florence, filled it with beauty, made it extraordinary, nobody touches you. At their peak, the Medici weren't just a bank, they were a brand. But Lorenzo, he had a problem. He was magnificent at everything, except the thing that kept the empire running: the bank. Branch managers across Europe started making decisions he wasn't watching, lending to risky clients, extending credit to rulers who showed every sign of not repaying, breaking every rule Giovanni had set. The London branch collapsed. The Bruges branch collapsed. Lorenzo also clashed politically with the Pope, so that relationship got a little bit complicated. There was even an assassination attempt against him in Florence Cathedral. He survived, but the trust didn't fully recover. By the time Lorenzo died in 1492, the bank was already hollowed out. The reputation was intact, but the money was not. Lorenzo's son Piero inherited everything and lost it in about 2 years. Where his father was diplomatic, Piero was careless. When the French King Charles VIII invaded Italy, Piero surrendered territory Florence hadn't even lost. The city was furious. They expelled him. The Medici were thrown out of Florence, the city they had essentially built. They came back later though through papal connections and through royal marriages, so the family name survived for centuries. But the bank was gone. The last Medici ruler of Florence died in 1737. No heir, the dynasty ended quietly. Here's what stays with me about the Medici. Giovanni built the empire on one lesson: spread the risk, stay disciplined. For one generation, it worked perfectly. Then success made them comfortable, comfortable made them careless, and careless slowly then suddenly made them irrelevant. Welcome to Kronbolt.